Hey, Alex, it's Hypnotech. Thanks for tuning back in. How you doing? Today, I wanted to talk to you guys about one of my favorite phones from 2015. It was my daily driver since launch day, October, until recently. So it's been a good 8 months or so. And I'm talking about none other than the Sony Z5 Compact. This is Sony's 4.6-inch phone. And if you don't know much about Sony, they have a compact line of phones, which is 4.6 inches, and Android phones usually get the best specs in their big phones. The small phones, they dim it down. Apple has the 6S and the SE, and they put the best specs into their phones. So why not Android? Luckily, we have Sony, who actually does that with their compact line. We'll get into specs a little bit later. But they recently put Android Marshmallow on the Z5 Compact. I think it was a month ago. And it makes it a brand new phone. I just wanted to give you guys a review about my favorite phone from 2015. Originally released on October 2015, we are looking at the international version. So this is the unlocked international version, not the US North American version, which does not have a fingerprint scanner. We do have a fingerprint scanner here. We'll check that out in a second. But going over some specs really quickly, since it's a 2015 phone, the flagship chipset is the Qualcomm Snapdragon 810, powered with Adreno 430 GPU. Originally came with Android Lollipop, but as we discussed, we are looking at the Marshmallow update of this phone and what it did to it. It weighs 138 grams at only 8.9 millimeters thick, so this is not a thin phone at all, but that's because it has a 2700 milliamp battery. So the battery is a major selling point for all the compact line phones. And this was a major selling point for me as well, and we'll talk about that in a sec too. We have 2 gigabytes of RAM, so this is pretty sufficient to power the 4.6 inch screen, which is a 720p resolution. So not the most high definition screen, but at this screen size, it is decently acceptable. I know a lot of people, like me included, wanted a 1080p screen. But we got a 720p screen with 323 pixels per inch. At the top of the phone, we have a headphone jack, and on the opposite end, on the bottom, we have a micro USB charging port that's exposed. There's no more flap like the Z3 Compact, so that's a major difference. But the flap does make a return on the left side of the phone, where we have a micro SD card slot and a nano SIM tray. If you flip the phone over to the right side, we are taking a look at a completely revamped button layout featuring the elongated power button, which now features an embedded fingerprint scanner. So that's a welcome addition to the phone. And the volume rockers are no longer above the power button, it's below it now. And we also have the returning, I should say, camera shutter button. So that's one of my favorite features on the Sony phones, and I'm glad it made a return. When it came to the fingerprint scanner, that was one of the original detractors for the phone. I really wanted a fingerprint scanner, so I upgraded from the Z3 Compact, which didn't have one. And I was initially disappointed with the fingerprint scanner, as it didn't recognize my fingerprint often. But I've noticed that Marshmallow has helped it a little bit more. The Marshmallow update has helped and increased the speed from what I remember from Lollipop. It does seem to recognize my fingerprint more often now. I am also very disappointed in the fact that the camera app is still not a great experience. The camera takes forever to launch, and it takes a long time to process the photo. And when you even want to look at the photo in the gallery app and launch the gallery app, it takes a long time to load up the gallery app. There's always been a bit of a lag when you want to do these things. And I was hoping Marshmallow would fix it, and Sony has actually sent out a few different updates for the camera app, but we are still getting a similar experience to launch day, where there was a lot of issues with the camera. So it was well known, and Sony has, I guess, attempted to fix it, but it's still not very good. The Sony Z5 Compact has always been a great performer when it came to gaming, and this update to Android 6.0 Marshmallow is no exception. The phone still runs really well with highly graphical intensive games, and as you can see from Alto's run here, we are playing without any interference, no frame dropping, no stuttering. It's still a great performer. The 2 gigabytes of RAM still works really well with the 720p screen, and hopefully they keep it up, because the phone is a little better to use now than it was earlier, because it was very difficult to hold when it gets really hot. As you can see from video playback, everything seems to be fine. I haven't had overheating issues, and I'm glad. It feels at least a little better with Marshmallow. Okay, so this is going to be the start of a mini rant I have. And the first thing I have to get on my chest is, why in the world did they remove the stamina mode? So Sony has a great ultra battery saving mode, a stamina mode, and stock Android now has one too. However, with the Marshmallow update for the Z5 Compact, we lost the ultra battery and stamina saving modes, and stock Android has one. So not only did we lose a feature from Marshmallow that we originally had that was even better than what stock Android has, we don't even have what stock Android has now too. So that does not make sense to me. Quick Charge is great, and this phone has Quick Charge 2.0, but I want my ultra battery saving mode, and I don't know why Sony took it out. And we don't even have a stamina mode, so what is going on with Sony there? While there is a lot to like about the Z5 Compact, and there is a lot, the one thing I did like the most about this phone that drew me to buy this phone actually went down because of Android Marshmallow, and that is the battery life. So let me just explain really quickly, because the Z3 Compact gave me the best battery life in 2014 and 2015 that I've had in any phone, and that's including the S6, the G4, even the S7 Edge. The Z3 Compact gave me the best battery life. I was getting 45 hours of on-screen time with my usage. And I've explained in previous videos and reviews that my usage is very heavy. I leave the phone on to run games all the time on auto run. I watch a lot of YouTube videos. I do a lot of Googling and Redditing. So my usage is the heaviest, probably some of the heaviest you'll probably get. And I'm on the phone a lot, and I text a lot too. And Facebook Messenger takes a lot of battery. And so my usage is very heavy, and the Z3 Compact could handle my usage. So that's why it was automatically my favorite phone. So I upgraded to the Z5 Compact thinking that it would continue the trend. And it sort of did. It gave me about 3 to 4 hours of screen on time, where I was averaging about 45 on the Z3 Compact. So it was okay. And I gave that a thumbs up, because it was running the 810, which is power hungry. And since it's upgraded specs compared to the Z3 Compact, I gave that a pass. However, after Marshmallow, the battery has deteriorated. I can honestly tell you that the battery is pretty bad now. It's like an average phone. I would say it's even as bad as the S6, which is not good. I've been getting about 2 to 3 hours of on-screen time, screen on time, with this phone now after the Marshmallow update, whereas before I was getting, like I was saying, 3 to 4 hours of on-screen time. And it's not good. It's not good. I don't exactly know why it's doing that. Looking at the analytics of what they're telling me, it's the same usage. The power dispersion between my apps are the same. So I'm not understanding why it's going down. You would think with Doze and Project Volta, that my battery life would be better with Android Marshmallow, and I had high hopes for that. But it actually went the opposite way, and I don't think it's because the phone is a year old. I really don't. I think it's something to do with the software of how Sony utilizes Android Marshmallow. And sadly, I have to say I was very disappointed with that. So I have to say this with a heavy heart too. The iPhone SE is the best small phone you can get. I thought this was better than the 6S when it came out, and I still think that right now in terms of battery life, performance for a small phone. But the iPhone SE has displaced this as the best small phone in the market. This is still the best small Android phone you can get in the market. But I think overall, if you like small phones, the iPhone SE is the best phone you can get on the market, which is it's a heavy heart for me because I love the Sony phones, and the compact phones were my favorite phones for 2 years. I've been using it since the Z3 Compact. I fell in love with the Sony phones, and it's disappointing. It's disappointing. I thought Marshmallow would make it go up, but yeah, those are my thoughts. It's not all good in the hood. It's not all good in the hood. So thanks again. I'm Alex from Hypnotech. and we will be back with a lot of videos. Be sure to subscribe, like our videos, comment. Please check out our social media stuff, and I will be back very soon. See you guys.